Cristo Rey podcast, the Cristo Rey podcast, coming at you. A podcast, Cristo Rey podcast, the Cristo Rey podcast, almost too good to be true. Sunday is Mother's Day, so make sure you get a card. Some flowers or some chocolates would be very nice. To celebrate on the podcast, some of the hosts will be interviewing their own mothers. Without them, the host wouldn't even exist, and if that were true, there would be no podcast. You'd just be listening to 30 minutes of silence. Podcast, Cristo Rey podcast, the Cristo Rey podcast, right in your ears. Podcast, Cristo Rey podcast, the Cristo Rey podcast. Oh boy, here it comes.
Hello everyone, it's your one and only host, Emily here. For today's particularly special podcast, I'm joined by my mom. Why don't you say hi?
Hi.
Alright, so let's start this out with one fun fact about yourself.
Well, a lot of people don't know this, but I am a big time gamer. I play video games. I enjoy playing video games, and I introduced you to video games, and I still play with you video games.
This is true. Now, does that also include board games that you like to play?
Not so much board games. I have a lot of friends that play Magic the Gathering and play Dungeons and Dragons. I used to play Dungeons and Dragons a long time ago, but I don't anymore. I don't have the time. Video games is something that I could just sit in the moment and play and then, get back to what I'm doing.
Yeah, of course, but I do know that we love playing Uno with each other. That is for sure.
Absolutely. We do love playing card games, so we do play Uno a lot, and we have different kinds of Uno.
We do.
And we play Monopoly, and we play a lot of things, yes.
But you don't like when we play Monopoly, because that's way too long for you.
It is a bit long, but that's okay.
Yeah. So after, with me involved in your life, do you find it harder to accompany to like other hobbies? Like, you said before that you don't have the time for video games or like board games, I mean. Like, do you find that a little frustrating because you want to get back into board games?
Well, no. I mean, it's not just because of you, obviously. It's just overall, I work a lot and I have a lot of things going on with work, and I do outside stuff at work, I volunteer, I do a lot of other things, so it's kind of hard to try to get into that. But no, it's in general, it's just kind of hard because adulting is very important, but sometimes it can put a damper on the fun stuff. So
yeah. All right. So I've been meaning to ask this because I want a lot of people to know this. What is your favorite mythical creature?
My favorite mythical creature is a unicorn. But I also love dragons. But unicorn is definitely my favorite.
What about phoenixes? Don't you like phoenixes?
And I'm the phoenix, of course, but unicorns is my favorite.
Like the million of paintings of phoenixes we have.
I mean, yes, I love the phoenix. And it's very empowering because, it's a rebirth, out of the ashes, it's reborn. So I love the phoenix. I love the concept of the phoenix and what it stands for. But mythical creature, just the whimsical aspect of it. A unicorn is my favorite.
So, besides gaming or maybe even hanging out with me, what's your favorite hobby to do?
I love to read. I prefer reading over TV. I will sometimes turn on TV and it just becomes background noise, and sometimes I even mute it because I prefer reading.
So you leave the TV on, you leave the sound off, and then something you bug me about.
Okay. Sometimes I forget, though. I forget that the TV's on because I'm reading my book, so I just don't remember. Sometimes it doesn't even get turned on. And the weekends when I'm here, I don't even turn on the TV at all. I may turn on some music, maybe slow music, and then read my books, but that's about it.
So, do you have another fun fact you want to share with everyone?
Yes, I love hanging out with you. And the fact that you still want to hang out with me, even though you're a teenager, you'll be 16 this year and you still like hanging out with me. So I do love that.
Well, I don't think that's ever going to change.
Well, I'm glad. because I don't want it to change.
Okay, well, thank you so much for joining me and taking time out of your day to be here for this very special podcast.
You're welcome. Thank you, baby. I love you.
I love you too.
Hey guys, so I'm here to tell you guys about prom. So prom was held at Mirolo Barn. It was this very, very pretty place. Our prom theme was Cloud 9. It gave like a cloudy vibe. It was like under the star type of thing, cloudy. I don't even know how to describe it. It was just, all you have to know is pretty. And everyone was dressed so pretty. We had food. My favorite food at prom was definitely cheesecake. We had very great music. We made a bunch of memories here at prom. We took a bunch of pictures. It was just totally 100% worth it. It was an amazing, amazing experience.
Hey everyone, it's Naja here, and I'm here with my mom, Mrs. Mutalib. So I'm going to ask her a few questions. So the first question we have is, what do you feel changed about you as a person after becoming a mother?
I would say everything. I was more self-aware, a lot more responsible. And, it wasn't just about me anymore. I had to always think about someone else.
What's your biggest motivation to keep going and always push through?
I would say the responsibility of knowing that, you have to look out for someone else, and it's all about, another little person's well-being. And it's very loving being a mother. That always gets me through my days. Even if, I may be having a bad day, there's nothing better than seeing, a smile on your little kid's face, even your face, Naja.
Okay, so the next question we have is, what are some of the things you and your mom did, maybe when you were younger, to bond, or if you guys do now?
When I was younger, I would say we bonded through just more so her teaching me things. It could have been, from cooking. My mom taught me to sew. Taught me how to clean, how to wash clothes. And we bonded a lot, while she would be doing my hair or just having conversations. She took us to the park a lot. We always talked about things. She was just, ask me how my day was going or ask if there was anything on my mind.
Grandma does that to me too. She'd be like, you have to fold it this way. Okay. So our next question is, what are some experiences that have personally touched your heart with your children?
I would say just seeing the growth, thinking of you and, the time you lost your first tooth. And then, how, that soon after, 2 years later, they grew back. But, even now, from knowing as you were a little kid, looking at pictures of you as a little kid and seeing you now and how you've grown and how the things around the world has shaped you and such a beautiful person now, and it's a blessing.
What do you see in the future for yourself, after we leave the house and it's just you and Dad?
I see a clean house in my future. I see a clean house. I see a meal that I am preparing, and I do not have to worry about all these different people and how they like it. I can just make it how I like it. And I see vacations.
Okay, thank you, Mom. That was the last of our questions. Happy Mother's Day, everyone.
Hello everyone, this is Mrs. Vallejo. Every year I ask my students, what do we celebrate el 5 de Mayo? And I always get, El Día de los Muertos. No, it's not the Day of the Dead. The Independence Day. No, we don't celebrate Independence Day. So what does 5 de Mayo celebrate? Well, on the morning of May 5th, 1862, 6,000 French troops stormed the Mexican city of Puebla to bring it under French rule. The Mexican soldiers were outnumbered, but they fiercely fought back. By early evening, the French had retreated. Now, the people of Puebla, Mexico, observe the holiday Cinco de Mayo to celebrate this victory. The holiday is also widely celebrated in the United States. Americans use the celebration to honor the battle as well as Mexican culture. So, everybody, let's celebrate Cinco de Mayo.
Happy Mother's Day. So I'm here with my mom.
Hey.
You gotta say your name.
I'm Erica.
And we're here for Mother's Day to talk to you guys about my mom's job. So my mom is a deputy clerk at Sir Tyek's office.
Clerk Lori Tyak's office.
And we're going to talk a little bit about her experience there as a black woman in that field. So, yeah. So, Mom, how are you doing first?
I'm well. All is well, son.
Okay. What's a takeaway that you would say you learned from working in a space like a deputy clerk office?
Well, the deputy clerk's office, you work very closely with police. So, you get to know that most police don't know the laws very well, and they want to file charges that they can't technically file without the evidence. So in the clerk's office, it's our job to make sure that all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted, and that they're not charging someone with, let's say, a felony when their crime really only fits a misdemeanor, or that they're not charging someone with a violent case or a misdemeanor that could be potentially a felony. So it's pretty in-depth.
That's cool. How do you say, so could you take us through a walking, what does your job require you to do?
My job requires me to take police complaints, input them into the judicial system, slate or process people who are being jailed or housed in the jail. And it also requires me to pull and have access to records that date all the way back as clear as 1995 or 96. We have access to anyone who's been pulled over, any criminal case, or any traffic or domestic case within Franklin County, which is one of the largest counties in the state of Ohio.
Awesome. So as a black woman working inside of a space like this, would you have any advice for anybody who would want to be inside of your position, or would want to work alongside you or do the work that you do?
Do you want me to really be honest?
Be honest.
Okay,
we keep it real on this podcast.
Okay, well, keeping it real on this podcast, let me let you know. Being a black woman in the judicial system, period, is challenging work, because sometimes when there are errors in the paperwork, and as a black woman you find or call those errors, the officers in question seem to feel that you're being biased, like we all cousins and I know who this person is who he putting these charges against, when I don't know him. But you can't charge him with something without a proper eyewitness statement, or you can't charge him with this particular crime unless he actually had the weapon. If you don't have the weapon, you can't charge him with the felonious assault if there's no weapon present. It's certain things that you have to fit the requirements, and they be feeling like you're giving me a hard time just because you're black. And I be feeling like, get your stuff right, and I won't have a problem stamping it. But my stamp ain't going on nothing that's improper, because at the end of the day, it takes my seal in order for anything to get filed. And so I take that as a charge. I take it as a deputized clerk. I'm a deputy clerk, which means that I've taken an oath and a promise to fairly and accurately maintain the records of the court, and I'm not putting my stamp on something that's not accurate.
So empowering, so beautiful. I want to tell you Happy Mother's Day, and
thank you.
Thank you for sitting down and going over this with me and the Cristo Rey podcast. We appreciate you dearly.
Thank you, Cristo Rey podcast. You guys have a great Mother's Day weekend, and show your mother some love, and make sure that she knows that she's appreciated and you love her.
Alrighty, bye-bye.
Adios.
Hey guys, it's your girl Icy here. We hope you're enjoying this special Mother's Day episode of the Cristo Rey podcast. For 2 Cristo Rey staff members, this Mother's Day is very special. It's their first one. On April 4th at 1:14 a.m., Mrs. Roush Davis gave birth to baby Rachel Marie, and on April 7th at 8:44 p.m., just 3 days later, Mrs. Graham gave birth to Ren Thoreau. Welcome to our newest Cougar Cubs, and happy Mother's Day, Mrs. Roush Davis and Mrs. Graham.
Hey everybody, Ava here, and I have a special guest, my very own godmother.
Hi.
So today, as you guys know, we're doing a Mother's Day special, and my godmom is a very important maternal figure in my life. She is consistently guiding me, praying for me, just being there for me, supporting me in a way that I necessarily haven't had throughout my life. So to honor her, we're just going to get to know her, interview her, you know the gist. So, to start off, how many god kids do you have?
I have 2 goddaughters and then kind of like a stand-in godmom for my nephew Jackson. That's because he lost his godmother. She passed away while she was carrying what would have been my 3rd goddaughter. So I kind of step in as a little more than an aunt in his life. And then I have my younger goddaughter, Brooklyn. So there are 3 of you guys total.
So, how did you know, like, you were meant to be a godmom? Like, how did you know that it was, like, a calling, a purpose?
I didn't really honestly know. So the way that the chain of events took place, my younger goddaughter became my goddaughter first. She is 15 now, 14. She'll be 15 in September. And I guess I've pretty much been in her life since she was in the belly because her mom and I worked together, and her mother had a godmother in her life that meant a lot to her growing up. And so she wanted to give that to Brooklyn. And then she asked me to be Brooklyn's godmother shortly after she was born. So I think that came from, one, I have been there with and for her through her pregnancy, but I also have a relationship with Brooklyn's father.
Mm-hmm.
So from her standpoint, I think it just felt like a good fit.
Mm-hmm.
And then for a period of time, I lived with them while Brooke was growing up. Just me, Christina, her mom, and Brooklyn. And it kind of helped me grow in that relationship as well. So I didn't necessarily know, but just as my relationship with Brooklyn grew, it became a really important relationship in my life. And so once I met you and our relationship transitioned into a godmother, goddaughter relationship, it just felt really natural to create those same like bonds, but with you. So now I have really close relationships, I think, with both of you, but as you know, very different relationships with the both of you.
Yeah. So, of course, I want to say, like, I love you and I appreciate you. You definitely have stepped in as, like I said earlier, like, as a maternal figure that I necessarily haven't always had. And I am, like, forever appreciative of you and who you are and what you pour into me and, like, what you pour into others. And I see you,
Yes.
I see you.
I love you and I appreciate you as well.
So, what do you have to say to all the potential mothers listening right
now? I think the biggest thing, and this is honestly probably going to be more social worker therapist, Kristen, more so than godmom Kristen, because I feel like I'm heavily guided by that. I'm a social worker because it is a part of just who I am. But I would say that kids are always allowed to be who they are. That molding and helping a person become the best version of themselves isn't just something you extend to friends or relationships. That's also something that people should extend to children. And I think that people often forget that, and they want kids, teens to be who they think they should be. They don't leave room for mistakes. They don't leave room for growth. And to me, that is always something that's important when you have a relationship with a child, especially if you're a parent. Your kids should always feel like they can be their truest selves with you and not be fearful of repercussions. So I think that that is probably the most important thing, in my opinion, when it comes to whatever type of mother you're going to be. If it's going to be a godmom, if it's going to be an auntie, if it's going to be just, a mentor to younger children, leave space for them to be who they are and allow them to find their path in some ways. Let them have their destiny.
I agree. I definitely agree. And as you guys can hear, I get my wisdom and my well spokenness from my godmother, But I love that. Like, I feel like that's not even just for the mothers out there, but definitely for like the whole audience listening. Like, it's okay to be who you are despite of like challenges or people or circumstances. So I genuinely know that I appreciate it. I'm sure those who are listening appreciate it. And I was so honored to have you as a guest on my little mini show. So happy Mother's Day to everybody out there.
Thanks for having me, and happy Mother's Day.
Bye.
Hey guys, I'm Ujjal, bringing you a special announcement from the Cristo Rey podcast. We've just gotten into May, which is Asian American Heritage Month. A fantastic time to learn and celebrate about Asian culture. Next week, we will be hosting a special session on Asian heritage with a podcast featuring a wonderful group of students and a very, very special guest in the form of Mr. Corrigan's wife. That's right, folks. You want to hear our experiences and see how this goes down, because I know I do. Tune in to the next episode of the Cristo Rey podcast. Promise you won't regret it. I will see you there.
Hi guys, it's Rebecca here, and I'm here with my mom, Gabriela.
Hello everybody.
And so for Mother's Day, I'm going to be asking my mom a couple of questions. So, Mommy, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm originally from Peru. I came here to the U.S. about 19 years ago, and I've been fortunate to be able to develop myself and work in my profession. I'm an industrial engineer. Been working for Discover for the last 18 years in different roles and capacity. Most recently, I had been promoted to be the senior manager for the regional product strategy for Latin America.
So, was it hard coming here to the U.S. with one kid?
Yes. I mean, we came when Regina was 9 months old. My oldest daughter, you were born here, and your brother as well. So it was hard, definitely. When I got pregnant with you, I was doing my MBA, so it was a lot of work to take care of your sister, of you, and do my homework. Your dad obviously was a big helper. He took you guys every Sunday elsewhere, so I had the whole day to study and do my work. It was very difficult. Also, even, working, having to travel while, you guys were little, it was very difficult. I had to leave all the instructions step by step to your dad to make sure that you guys were good. It was difficult, but I'm really glad that you guys turned out okay.
So, what made you come to the U.S.?
It was an opportunity. We wanted to offer you, our children, a better future, and we were offered the visa lottery and participated and won that and decided to come over again just to give you more opportunities. So we are really happy that you and your siblings are taking advantage of those opportunities.
In regards to being a mom, what's your favorite thing about being a mom?
Oh, the hugs and the kisses. and something else is, I see my role as a parent to help you realize your potential, to help you discover your strengths and the things that make you happy. So you probably remember, anytime you said, hey, I'm interested in being a vet, I would take you to a vet for a day class, or, have a conversation with somebody on that particular background, because I really wanted you all three to discover your strengths and the things that make you happy so that you can guide your life on that direction. Because definitely, based on everything I have learned, life is so short, so we need to do what makes us happy.
When do you think you find out how to be a mom? Like when you got it down?
Oh, I don't think I still got it down. It is a trial error every single day. But I guess it's important to be humble, to recognize when we make mistakes and we don't know what we don't know, and ask for help, for recommendations from other parents, best practices, guidance from psychologists, teachers, and people that have done it before us and may have better knowledge of how to be a good parent. But I don't think anybody, maybe Joseph and Mary got it down, but we're not there yet.
What's your favorite memory with your mom?
With my mom, my favorite memory was about Sundays. We will have breakfast and then go back to bed. And then after that, get ready for Mass. After Mass, she will take us to the pastry store to get a really good, one of our favorite pastries from the bakery. It was really nice. It was an easy, and then we'll have lunch that we made together, and after that we'll take our nap. So you can notice that we pretty much do the same thing with you guys, where you guys come to our bed on Sundays, and we snuggle there, and then after lunch we have a nap. Similar to what I used to do with my mom when I was little.
Okay, thank you, Mommy.
Thank you for having me.
Stop the music, stop the music, stop the music. That was a really great show, but I'm just not feeling it right now. I just heard some news from Mrs. Caption. Well, why don't we have her come out and she can tell you herself.
Well, I've decided that this is going to be my last year at Cristo Rey, and I'm going to be staying home with my kids for next year and just spending time with them.
Oh, that is a really good reason. How appropriate too for our Mother's Day show. You're a mother and staying home. That's a noble thing. And we're going to miss you here a lot. You've been a good friend to everybody here. You built the music program pretty much out of nothing. So you have a big legacy. You started the choir, and there was the guitar class, which do you remember the first time you taught guitar?
Yeah, I do. And I think I had a really fun student in that class.
So if you don't know, she taught guitar while I had one of my planning periods. And I asked her, can I be in the class? And so I enrolled in her class here at the school. And I was in there with students. I sat there with everybody else, and she taught me. I'd never touched a guitar in my life. And did you think am I any good?
I think so.
Oh, well, there you go. So you were a really good teacher, honestly. But more importantly, not only that, you're also a really good friend to me and to the podcast and to everyone at Cristo Rey.
Well, just because I'm leaving, that doesn't have to change. Strong friendships can overcome anything.
I think you're right. I know we'll always be friends.
Through thick and thin.
Night and day.
Right or wrong?
If you're ever in a jam, here I am.
If you ever need a pal, I'm your gal.
If you ever feel so happy you land in jail, I'm your bail.
It's friendship, friendship, just a perfect blendship.
When other friendships have been forgot, ours will still be hot. A lot of
dig, dig, dig. Nice harmony there, Mr. Corrigan.
Oh gosh, well I've been practicing. I did want to
Don't miss your cue.
Oh yeah. If you're ever down a well, ring my bell.
If you ever catch on fire, send a
Give me
wire.
a telegram. How old are these lyrics? If you ever lose your teeth when you're out to dine, borrow mine.
That's disgusting. It's friendship, friendship, just a perfect blendship. When other friendships have ceased to gel, ours will still be swell. La la la, hep hep hep. What do you think hep 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 means?
Oh, you know, hep hep hep. It means,
You don't know, do you?
Well, sure I do. It means
If they ever black your
You're
eyes,
interrupting
put
me.
me
It's a little rude
wise.
interrupting somebody. If they ever cook your goose, turn me loose. Thank you for not interrupting that time.
If they ever put a bullet through your brain, now complain.
Why would someone do that?
It's friendship, friendship, just a perfect blendship. When other friendships go up in smoke, ours will still be oak. La 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 la, goof goof goof. What kind of word is oak?
It's like okay, but without the K. Okay?
Okay.
If you ever lose your mind, I'll be kind.
If you ever lose your shirt, I'll be hurt.
If you're ever in a mill and get sawed in half, I won't laugh.
It's friendship, friendship.
That would be kind of funny.
Just a perfect blendship. When other friendships have been forgate, ours will still be great. Now I know forgate is not a word.
Sure it is.
Whatever.
Whatever.
If they ever crack your spine, drop a line.
If they ever cut your throat, write a note.
If they ever make a cannibal stew of you,
What are you
invite
saying?
me to.
That's not friendly
It's
at all.
Friendship, friendship, just a perfect blendship. When other friendships are up the creek, ours will still be sick. La 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 la, chuck chuck chuck. No, 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 that's not what we rehearsed.
Remember, yes,
Oh
we
my
did. We
gosh,
rehearsed
now
it
you're
that way.
changing the rules. You're
Yeah,
cutting
no,
me
I'm
off.
not
What are you
changing the
doing? I don't
rules.
want to do it.
When other friendships have been forgot, ours will still be